I think something that really helped me for my mission was I have 5 brothers and no sisters, and so that really helped because, and I'm also a twin brother, and so I constantly was growing up surrounded by a tight knit group of people that, you know, learning how to deal with and solve problems with other people. Something that I feel like was big important for me on my mission was learning how to help other companions and how to strengthen other people. And having 5 brothers definitely helped me out with that a lot. My parents were, very faithful. My dad had lost his job several times, being laid off, and that happened several times before my mission. And so rather than coming to school right away, I had to work a year before my mission. And when I was working is when they made the age change announcement. And so I was already 18 and could have gone out already. But I needed to work a little bit longer to save a little bit more money. And so I got my call a week before I turned 19. And then I left when I was 19 a few months later. And so, just having those examples of faith in my parents, even though, my dad lost his job, they continued to pay tithing and they continued to, do the small and simple things, reading the scriptures, saying their prayers, trying to do family prayer and family evening. That really helped make it strong. It helped build my faith and helped make me become a better person and help me become closer to Christ. I know that one thing that a lot of people probably think when they think of the Utah Provo mission is like, Utah Provo mission, that's in Utah. Why would we call missionaries there? We don't need missionaries in Utah, which is actually something I got when I first got my call from members in my ward. So I remember that I came home from work on that day that my mission call arrived, and I looked in the mailbox. It's the first thing I did every day I got from home because I was excited and waiting for it. And I opened it and it was there, and I run inside and I was jumping up and down and excited. And my dad's like, "Cool, you have your mission call, and I need to wait for your mom to get home." And Mom wasn't gonna get home till 7 p.m. that night, so I was kind of bummed that I had to wait that long. But that night, we were called my grandparents, Skyped my older brother who lives here in Utah, and I opened my call and I read it, and it said, of course, you've been called to serve in the Utah Provo mission. And to be honest, first my heart kind of sunk. I was like, because I'd been hoping to go somewhere exotic like Guatemala or Argentina or Ecuador or something like that, but it was Utah Provo, and I was just like, I didn't even know they had a mission in Utah. And I just thought, what kind of sin did I have to commit to be called to Utah Provo? And so afterwards, after that happened, everyone started laughing in the room, like, Utah Provo, I can't believe. And then my older brother lives in Utah. I was like, so where are you going? Utah Provo South, Utah Provo North? And it's like, it just says Utah Provo. And he's like, there has to be more than one. There's more than one Salt Lake mission. There has to be more than one Provo. And it's like, no, it just says Utah Provo. And we looked at the map and what it covered, and it's like, yeah, it's just Provo. And I was the first one in my ward to go out in a long time on a mission. I think my bishop had been called a year before, and I was the second person he'd sent on a mission. So afterwards, he on that Sunday, he said, "Hey, heard you got your mission call. Would you like to get up in front of the ward and tell everyone you went?" And I was like, "Where you're going?" And I was like, "Not particularly. It's not that great." And he was like, "No, come on, you got to do it. We want to get the younger kids excited to go on a mission." I was like, "Okay." So I stood up and I walked up to the pulpit, and when he called me and he was like, "Brother Taylor's received his mission call. He's going to tell us where he's going." And I walked up and I was like, "I've been called to serve in the Utah Provo mission." And the whole ward just started laughing. And I was just like, but in that moment I felt the Spirit, just tell me, that's where you're supposed to go. It's where the Lord needs you. And I felt peace, for the first time since that day I'd gotten my mission call, thinking, okay, that is where the Lord wants me to go, and there's going to be people that I can help. And that's just, that's an important thing to remember for anyone, anyone going to any Utah mission, is that there's this is part of the mission field, that there are people here who are have lost their way and need to find their way back to Christ. And that's the purpose of a missionary, is to bring them closer to Christ. In that regard, I wish I'd spent a lot more time reading Preach My Gospel before I came on my mission, because then I would have, then that would have been more firmly in my mind before, and I would feel like I might not have had to been, slapped in the face in the way I was. Like, look, this is where you're supposed to go, and so, missionary work's needed everywhere, and this, even in Utah, there's non-members here. There's even less active members, which missionaries get to help out. And so, just anyone who's going to Utah, just remember that this is, the Lord called you here for a purpose. He has people for you to help.